Yo, what is good, everybody? What is good, my anime faithful? Um, I honestly can say this episode of Fairy Tail was pretty hype and pretty definitive of just how of uh, like outmatched every single aspect of this is. um, This is probably one of the more like craziest build-ups that Fairy Tail's done, and this is a true meaning of hold on. All right. This is the true meaning of people, in my opinion, putting a close to their story. This is like a book. Uh, it's like a book ending, or at least close to it, in the sense of you build up a character and you pretty much make him this god figure to everybody who comes across them. And even these people who have mastered the ability to completely shrink and increase sizes of even the things of mountains, um, turning a mountain from being a giant, like, well, not even a mountain, excuse me, turning an island into an actual, like, mountain, and then not to mention turning it back into an island, and then even smaller than an island into, like, a tiny little pebble with grass on it within mere, like, seconds of both of these, like, things happening. So, not only have we been introduced to like a character like Zareth and Agnologia who completely just like stomp every aspect of like wizard we know, somehow, some way, they're still making these other wizards that are popping up just as like frightful and if not like more, uh, even more powerful than seemingly more powerful than some people we've seen, but as a fandom, or like as the story has been progressing and telling us time and time again, Zareth is the one above all. When it comes down to even these people recognizing that, and I mean that says a lot about just all of these people who are literally throwing their lives down on the line to protect and make sure that he comes out, the victor of all of this stuff that he's putting forth. So I just want to know if you guys are like watching Fairy Tail and you see all this crazy stuff popping off, do you expect to see like guild arts and all these people pretty much like save the day, or would you want more of like Natsu, Urza, Lucy, and like the members that we've been watching and they've grown so like big since we've been watching? Would you want only like those characters to really kind of pull it out in the end? Let me know. But not only is Fairy Tail like very good at building these tense moments and building these things that just make you want to like freak out when you learn more and more about them. Loxus, or what I was going with that is they're also very great at building some of the most funniest moments. Uh, Not even just moments, but just funny overall scenes that you really don't get sometimes with other anime because they're too focused on one aspect of the show and maybe haven't worked too much on like comedy. But with Fairy Tail, they've always sprinkled in comedy, and there's a show that I'm going to be doing a review for after this video that you guys should check out if you are a Fairy Tail fan. I think it's anime that I will be talking about relatively soon. It's probably the closest thing to um, being a fairy tale close, like not storytelling in the sense of like you know it's gonna be like a fairy tale full-on storytelling, but as of right now, it could truly give fairy tale a run for its money for how popular it had become, and I stand by that. Uh, so to see everybody's reaction to just like knowing Zareth was even, at the palace and stuff like that, he's actually arrived. The whole entire place was just like in complete, happiness that the man, the legend Zareth, has just shown up, and of course he's going by a whole different name than Zareth. I mean, they don't. I somehow like Zareth, the name didn't cross them or something, or the ones that are higher up know of that side and don't really care because of the overall arcing fact of how much support. Because you got to remember too, this nation was built practically on absorbing uh, guilds. Unlike Fairy Tale, who runs into certain guild members and they're like, "Wow, Fairy Tale is," or not guild members, but certain guild, just in general, and all of a sudden one of them might want to uh, join up with Fairy Tale or something along those lines. It's not like Fairy Tale necessarily is trying to poach them. It's just that's just how it was happening naturally. They were just naturally making friends with a Fairy Tale member and wanting to join or help or pay back a debt or something. So um, it's really interesting to see all of this kind of playing out the way I foresaw. Um, like there had to have been a reason why Natsu, Gray, Lucy, all of them are completely stranded by themselves, and it's talking about this is Fairy Tail's last battle and stuff. There's not too many people that I saw pushing them to that, and Agnologia definitely being one of them, but seemingly it's not even just him. It's gonna be a war between everybody. Just anybody who wants it can get it, pretty much, is what I'm getting from this, and that sounds super hype when it comes down to how Natsu fights. That's exactly how Natsu likes all of his battles, so expect him to be running in face first into the nearest army. Um, that's just him, man. That's just his fighting style. But yeah, all else I'm expecting from this though is really a lot of cameos because I guess not because we somehow saved Makarov in this week's episode. Straight up, Makarov going in talking that trash. I was pretty shocked that he actually tried to stand his ground as Arif. I understand it. It's because of who it was for and probably hearing the information about, all of them trying like reforming and stuff like that also gave him a little bit more courage. So to know that Makarov was face to face with Zverev and is still pretty much being pursued by him, uh, yeah, it's not looking too good for him at all. Um, it goes to show you too that whatever happened with Zverev's like backstory of the whole um, him being too close to people and him die and then people dying, supposedly they're giving us a little bit more examples of people who would die and people who wouldn't, and that's people who are like too weak. So I'm guessing, if he stayed out in the open with all those people out in the streets, they would have probably started perishing. Um, or maybe not. I mean, it sounded like he said something about suppress, like he's figured, like done a little bit of something to be able to be around them or something along those lines. So I would have to go back and watch it, and um, if anybody doesn't say anything about it in the comments, I'll probably put it down there when I do a rewatch. But other than that, man, Fairy Tail really surprised me with just how much like magic we got to see from people we've never really get to see much from, or and a new character, one of the 12s that pretty much put every single body in their place. Not to mention a guy who was underranked under her, putting Urza and Lucy in a place where they couldn't even get out until he let them free. That's that's some pretty powerful stuff already, and like I don't even know what that guy's rank is. I'm pretty sure he's not. He's just like fodder compared to the 12. He's not even one of the 12. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this fairy tale, like just all out brawl. Really, I know they got it in them to just show us some ridiculous fights, and by the way the animations are looking as of now, I am extremely excited. The only show that is doing animation that I'm just really excited for, no matter what kind of like the battle is leading to, is like Sword Art's animation, Attack on Titan. Uh, like it used to be Dragon Ball Z when Dragon Ball Z was just so freaking, just all drawn, man. Hand drawn was the best Dragon Ball like animation. But there's just a lot of things that once you know it starts building up, you're like, oh God, here we go, here we go. You're just ready for something dumb to happen. And I feel like Natsu and knowing that Makarov might be a trigger for Natsu to become angry and become even strong enough to defeat even him, Zareth. That kind of gives us our main goal of Zareth of trying to make just Natsu overall stronger, including if it takes anger, including if it takes like pain or whatever. He just wants, he still wants to die, not alone. Uh, Not only that, he wants to seemingly fight Agnologia. He's even set up a whole entire army that he really thinks that he's gonna need more or less for just Agnologia, not even the other nation that they need to steal the fairy heart from. So whatever fairy heart could do for him, seemingly he will feel better about fighting Agnologia. So keep that all in mind. I thought that was an interesting tidbit of information. The guy who didn't know how to fight him all of a sudden has, like a little glimpse of hope, and now he's ready to fight, So with that, guys, being said, I will let you go for now. I'm about to drop another video, so make sure you, if you're new, subscribe and drop a like. It'll be greatly appreciated. Not only that, I will be uh looking into some more like off the top like videos and stuff like that. Certain things that I might just put up when there isn't any content to be out. So I'll try to keep you guys in the loop as much as possible. And with that, thank you so much for the support. I hope you guys have a good day, night, evening, morning, whatever the case is. I was thinking of what I wanted to say next for some reason. But whatever the case is, and I'll talk to you in the next one. All right, peace.